What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gaming, and welcome back to the third episode of Gaming at its Core. Today, I'm joined by the usual OnlineZhD, Blue Danger, and Mealkick Media.
Yo,
what's up?
Hey.
What's up, guys? So yeah, Gaming at its Core is our weekly/bi-weekly podcast that we are planning to do from now on. And in this podcast, we're going to be going over a variety of different topics. Today, we're going to be going over 5 different topics that we've gathered that's basically consisting of news throughout the week and also some of our personal topics that we've added. So yeah, without further ado, I'd say let's get straight into it. So the first thing that we usually start off with in every podcast is what have we all been playing throughout the past week. So if any of you would like to answer that question.
Okay, I'll start. So, been playing Killing Floor 2 because of the new update, new maps, that's been pretty good, but mainly I've been playing Wolfenstein throughout the week a little bit, the New Order that is, and I got the platinum for Uncharted, I was about to say Lost Legacy, but Uncharted Drake's Fortune, great game, replaying that, because I haven't played that game in a while, but finished that up, got the platinum, so pretty much that's what I've been playing this week.
Well, this week I've been doing daily uploads, so I've barely had any time to play many games, so all I've been playing is I put another 10 hours into Zelda. What else have I been playing? So I got dusted off my old Nintendo DS, started playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky again. Great game. Anything else? Need for Speed Underground 2. I dusted off my PS2, got that out. Great game. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Damn, nice.
Yeah, well, and then all I've done is play, I think, Uncharted 4. And the most godly game ever, FIFA 17.
Fucking casual.
I know, I will put my hands up and admit that, but to be honest with you, I haven't really had a lot of time because I've literally spent the last week either A, packing up for my holiday, or B, because I've had to have like this test at work where I've basically had to do nothing but revise for it, because if you fail it, you lose your job, and it's like 7 sheets worth of stuff. So I've been revising that most of the week. So I haven't really been playing my PS4 a whole lot, but yeah, Uncharted and FIFA, that's what I've been playing this week mostly.
I see.
All right, that's cool. For me, I've been playing a bit of Uncharted 4 multiplayer, like always, just playing a few matches every now and then. And also I've once again been playing Horizon. I've almost got the platinum by now. I'm at 98%, so I literally need one more trophy to get the platinum. So yeah, I'll probably finish that sometime today, and yeah, I can move on to something else after that. So yeah, alright, okay, so now we can move on to the next topic. This is in regards to the Destiny 2 leak. So yeah, we got a leak regarding Destiny 2. I mean, it's not really the biggest secret that Destiny 2 is happening, because we knew it was going to be like a franchise, of course, right? So
yeah,
we knew Destiny 2 was coming. It was just really a matter of when. But I think there were previous reports that it was already coming in 2017, right? So
yeah, there was.
Yep, it was.
I'm not really surprised to hear about the leak or anything.
Yeah, I'm more excited to see what they actually have in this game, because the first one, well, to me, it didn't really have much content at launch, I guess. So I don't know if I'm going to be picking up Destiny. Probably not for a little bit, or at least until it, unless it, I guess, amazes me or something, or I don't see this being that big, because they have been focusing on Destiny post-launch content and Destiny 2 at the same time, but it's Bungie, so they've made some really good games in the past, and I guess it's just to see if they improve,
Destiny 1 was lacking the content, but I mean, the majority of the content, including House of Wolves expansion, Dark Below, and Taken King, were all cut out of the original game, so they haven't had that much. They've had quite a big team working on Destiny 2. I'm sure that game's probably close to becoming gold now. What Destiny 2 needs to nail are the aspects that the first game was lacking in. Of course, we all know the story was garbage. I think it's easy to say it was overhyped. Destiny 1 nails gameplay and graphics, but that's pretty much it. The AI needs a total overhaul, because they were pretty much useless. Just wasn't that good. I don't know, because it's solid from a gameplay standpoint, but from a content standpoint, the content isn't it doesn't exceed in anything that it does. You know what I mean? It's good at graphics, gameplay. There's nothing else. The story isn't that good. The game's unless you prefer repetition of content, then it's not going to be for you at all. But I think that's a lazy excuse to say, oh, well, we haven't got that much content. You need to replay it to have fun with the game. I think that's pretty lazy. You should have these big open world RPGs have hundreds of hours of content, and then you replay them. Like we see games like, especially on the PC side, we see like games like CS:GO, Dota, League of Legends, and a load of big games that have like repetition of content, but they constantly implement more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like Destiny was really good in terms of like gameplay, and like it had the good fundamentals, but they just failed on actually using that and actually having good launch content, and just the post content they did good, but like as you said, that definitely felt like it was cut out of the main game and should have at least been included.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm just
starting to get a
hoping
bit worrying
that,
because we haven't seen, like, literally we don't know anything about Destiny 2 other than the fact that, like, it's called Destiny 2 and it's coming out this year. Like,
it's
that
either
is...
to me, it's either gonna like very like shock a lot of people, and it's gonna be like that whole thing, like, you know what Shadow Mordor's doing, where it's gonna come out like within 6 months, like what Fallout 4 originally did, or it's gonna be just like totally didn't do anything really original at all, and it's just gonna flop, or at least, you know, the main people that bought Destiny 1 are gonna buy this again.
Yeah.
And
Well, they're not building the hype up like they did with the original. You know, we'd already heard about that a year
But you
and a half
are, right?
before it was out. Yeah, I'm hyped for the game, of course. I made the video on it.
5 reasons.
Based on
You're
the
like,
booster,
you're
yeah.
overhyped.
Casual.
Don't get overhyped, and then you make a 5 reasons why you should get hyped for Destiny.
Right.
No, I'm hyped. No, I am hyped.
Exposed.
It's just,
Exposed.
it just needs to exceed in something. Like, bear in mind, I hate the way people say, "Oh, it's Activision's fault." Activision handle the marketing practices. They don't develop the game. The world building in Destiny is so bland. It's just a series of roads intertwining with each other that lead you either back to the same paths or like have little different branching routes that end up in dead ends. It's just really poor game design. So with Destiny 2, they just need to have more content, nail the story. Because the thing is, I don't know if you knew about this, but Destiny has these things called Grimoire cards. Basically, they're the lore of the game that you have to go on Bungie.net to read about. And some of the stories in these Grimoire cards are fantastic. Like, I mean, amazingly good stories. So I don't see why they don't just put us in that. I hate this whole thing of like Destiny's an MMO, so we can't do flashback scenes or we can't have this in the story because it wouldn't make sense because there's 3 players. It doesn't need to have 3 players. The story should be just solo, in my opinion. I don't think it should have this interconnectivity with like 2 other players. It should just be you on your own. PvP, raids, strikes, all of that, yeah, completely should have just should be co-op, 3-player, 6-player, whatever. But the story should just be single player, just you, because that'll help them it'll help them focus on having a good story because they'll be able to have good cinematics, maybe some flashback scenes, maybe some I don't know, some storytelling from the Grimoire cards. I just want Destiny 2 to be good because there's so much potential with that universe.
Yeah, the co-op kind of like held it back, huh? Like it made it really feel like.
And let's not forget, these are the developers from Halo and the good Halo games, and Halo 2 and 3 are 10 out of 10 masterpieces. Reach is a phenomenal game. So the fact that Reach, which in my eyes was nearly a 10, they went from that to Destiny. It's a big step
I just don't understand
backwards.
how that happened. How do they do that?
I don't know. I mean, some of the teams, some of the lead designers and stuff have been fired or left or whatever. There's been a lot of trouble in the build up to the development of Destiny. But I mean, they've got a big enough team. They've got the big names like the story writers and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's got so much potential, but it needs to be utilized.
So with this leak happening with the posters, when do you guys think they're going to announce it? Do you think it's going to be like this week? Probably this week because it was like a promo leak.
Yeah,
from like
it'll be another Shadow War situation. They'll have to come out and release it soon because they can't keep it under wraps. They have Bungie Day in the summer, but I mean that's close to E3. They'll want to be getting trailers out before then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is definitely a thing that's going to be announced imminently because these are things that are promotional, which was sent early to GameStops. Yeah, a lot of people are saying this is an early E3 leak. No way. This is definitely going to happen within a couple days.
I think we'll have a cinematic trailer before Bungie Day and before E3, and then we'll get a gameplay reveal at E3, and then probably some more little trailers building up to the launch. But the fact that we haven't seen anything is either worrying or good. It could be good because they're not trying to overhype it like they knew the first game was, but it's bad in the sense that we don't know. The game could just be completely rehauled and we know it's a fresh start, but I don't know.
Yeah, I love when the developers do this, where they do the whole 6 months marketing kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think that's what Destiny's trying to do now. So I just hope it's a phenomenal. What they're making is really phenomenal. Just kind of the whole Fallout 4 thing was. I mean, it's debatable if that was a really good game. To me,
it really was. I love Fallout 4. It's just not as Vegas.
Yeah. So let's just hope it's one of those situations where, I just hope it just makes the grind a lot more appealing, and Yeah, I mean the concept of Destiny was cool, but like when you actually played it and just kept doing the original things over and over again, just to me was like kind of bland and
so much potential, so much.
Right. I feel like they could really like. I feel like if they screw this up, that's gonna suck. But I feel like they can easily hit this like a nail on. And 'cause they have had so much feedback. This game's been like in the spotlight for how many years now? They know what they need to improve on now. It's just if they did it or not. Plus, they're working on next gen, right? I mean, current gen.
Yeah, it's built from the ground up for next gen, so they won't have to. One thing I noticed from Destiny 1 was not only in like level design and the world building, but in graphics, it was really held back from the like. They didn't have the advancements of the technologies that they're like available to now. They had to sort out making the game on legacy consoles, which they don't have now. So they don't have that restriction, that threshold of like, okay, we've got to pull the game's capability back a bit for the last gen, so they can really go all out on the creative endeavors with this next game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I feel like the environments will look better, definitely, but I just hope from,
not
like,
only from a graphics standpoint, just from a world design and everything. I mean, I hope they take a lot of inspiration from The Witcher 3, not only in the way of like making. Of course, I know, of course, The Witcher 3, but not only in the way of like the way the world is built, but like the amount of like little intricate details in The Witcher, like finding notes, and the environmental storytelling in that game is phenomenal, and that could be implemented in Destiny 2 with these Grimoire cards, the backstories that they tell. They could have a lot of amazing like mini side stories told throughout the world. Like there isn't side missions in the game. No one ever picked up on that. There wasn't side missions. It was main missions and then strikes. These patrol missions were not side missions. They were like little mini games essentially. So the universe is there, the potential is there, and I really hope they utilize it with this sequel.
Yeah, this is definitely a game that I feel like can easily like take 2017 by storm, like, and shock a lot of people. And it's made by Bungie, and a lot of people are forgetting that. They're just looking at like Destiny 1 and just seeing how bad that is. And I just really hope they took advantage of these years. And I'm surprised it's coming this soon, but I mean, if it's a good game, I can't wait. But
So do you guys plan on getting it at launch or?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I actually really do want to. Depends on how this game is, but like if it shocks me, I'll for sure get it at launch because it comes around that September time period where there's not many games, and perfect game to play right before the Red Dead Redemption 2 and the Lost Legacy takes PlayStation by storm.
Well, did you hear about the Red Dead leak today? It only came out like 4 hours ago. I think it was Games Radar. It covered the leak about I can't remember what site it was. It went eBay, it went Amazon, but it was like a marketing site or whatever, listed the game for like full price, and it had a release date of September 26th.
For Red Dead, right?
Yeah, for Red Dead.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Which is crazy, yeah. And some of the bigger games like Detroit and Days Gone were listed as in December. So that's like that.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think it's accurate. No, not at all. But if that was the case, that's not only interesting from the fact that Red Dead isn't aiming for that Christmas window, it's aiming for more like the fall. That's gonna have to, if that is true, I don't think it is, but if it is, that's gonna like reposition a lot of games, because the Lost Legacy, if that might be scheduled for September, that is gonna have to be pushed back because Red Dead will drown that game.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I don't think it will make September because I think a lot of people are even like, debating whether it's going to make November. But I mean, Rockstar's always, they're always like on their own schedule. And I feel like they can definitely push it out that quick and get a lot of sales just because you saw the storm of GTA 5 sales. So they could definitely do something on their own, and maybe they're doing that whole 6-month thing. But like this would definitely be like a 6-month thing. But man, if that actually is true, but I really highly doubt that. But man, that'd be crazy. That'd be like the biggest shock of 2017 for sure.
Yeah, massively.
Man, that's crazy.
I just hope it doesn't release in September, because I'm going to have to make the dilemma of what do I play, FIFA or Red Dead.
Oh, jeez. That question?
FIFA will clearly win. No, I'm joking. Red Dead will destroy FIFA.
Man, September could be like the new November this year. Like usually it's like October that like gets a lot of games. But like if this is true, I mean, granted, that's if it's true. It's not going to be true most likely, but...
One thing I am worried about Destiny 2, though, just one last thing, is that the game's being forced to come out this year, which is by Activision, because they're going to claim, I think it's a claim a lot, like 50% of like Bungie's stock markets or whatever. I don't know what the situation is, but they're taking a big chunk of money from Bungie. So Bungie have really got that incentive to get the game out this year so they don't lose profit, you know what I mean?
Back to the devs if like they're feeling rushed.
Yeah, no, I don't think the game's going to be rushed, like, broken, glitchy, because Destiny 1 was so polished. That's one thing the game nailed. It was polished as hell. But, like, that just isn't good from a developer. They're going to be under so much pressure, not only to nail this because of how overhyped the first game was, but to, like, get it out at this release date of this year when they could have had extra time to work on it, you know, maybe improve the story and that. Yeah, it's just so many red flags are sounding out, but I want it to be good. I just want it to be so
right,
good.
Man. That could be like a great game. Like, oh my gosh, just the potential that Destiny 1 gave. Yeah, I don't see any hype for the game much really right now, so that's a good thing.
They haven't built any up. No. That's a good and a bad thing. It won't be overhyped, but it's also flagging signs that it might not be that good either if they're not that confident. But we'll see what we'll get to see. More of it over the next
it's gonna go either way. Like, it's really gonna be a mediocre or it's gonna be like phenomenal. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we can move on to the next news topic. So, the Call of Duty game for this year, made by Sledgehammer Games, of course. We know that. I think I heard in a previous interview that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare definitely didn't sell up to expectations, of course. And I think that's mainly due to the fact that, you know, a lot of games.
It was an average game.
Yeah. Also the fact that I think many people are getting tired of the futuristic formula and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's looking like this new Call of Duty that's coming out this year by Sledgehammer is gonna go back to World War II. So there's the rumor about Call of Duty World War II.
I was actually one of the people that actually really liked Advanced Warfare. I thought Sledgehammer did really good on it, but it's just like,
I agree. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I liked it. I liked the campaign a lot, so I'm really looking forward to, like, if I think it's probably the best futuristic, you know, like, I liked Advanced Warfare better than Black Ops 3 in many ways because they actually had a good campaign and the multiplayer wasn't that bad. But like, I actually liked the campaign, but the Black Ops 3 campaign was like co-op and all that stuff. It really didn't feel that well, and how you could jump into any mission you wanted to. Yeah.
I do think, from an overall standpoint, it is worse than Advanced Warfare. But what I noticed was that when I played it the first time, I played it in co-op and I thought the story was rubbish. But then when I played it again solo, and you actually analyze the story, it is really confusing. But once you get your head around it, it's actually well-developed ones. And sure, there are issues with it, but it does require you to play it solo to understand it. I mean, there are some videos online out there.
Yeah.
That do explain it, and it kind of blew my mind when I first played it. I'm not going to say what aspects of it, but if you go online,
right? Are you talking about the Black Ops?
Because I thought, I was just saying, because people are trying to say that Advanced Warfare had a better campaign than Black Ops 3, like, and saying the story was rubbish. I do think Advanced Warfare had a better overall story in terms of the understanding of it, but I think in terms of like overall proper story, I think Black Ops 3's was a lot better just because it tried to be a bit more ambitious with it. But I still thought Advanced Warfare had a great campaign. I thought the multiplayer was good.
I felt like I liked the zombies of Advanced Warfare quite a bit, playing with some friends. It was really fun. I feel like it's really the most underrated Call of Duty for like futuristic settings. And I really want to see what they would do with World War II, and I feel like it could be a really, really, really good game because they seem to really hit the nail on with zombies, and I feel like they can definitely do a good job if they do. I mean, that's if they do. I think World War II would definitely have zombies, right? They're going to definitely do with that.
Yeah, I think they're probably just trying to delve into because I'm guessing if they were going to do World War II, they'd probably make it take place before the events of World at War, so they might do a prequel to zombies in a way.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, Call of Duty is undeservedly hated on because in my mind, there are no bad Call of Duty games. Like, Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare, to me, were just average games. Like, I think Advanced Warfare was like a 7, Black Ops was like a 6, only for the fact that I thought I completely disagreed in the fact that Black Ops 3's campaign was yet another example of implementation of co-op, and that completely just ruined the story in my eyes because it's not the fact that it's confusing, it's the fact that there's so many like loose threads and plot holes in that story. Like it was just surely there to the same way Assassin's Creed Unity had that. It's like it didn't have as much a heavy presence of co-op, but like, we're just seeing so many games these days have like, oh, we've got co-op as a new feature. That just brings the story down like levels and levels. And Advanced Warfare story is actually really good. It has a lot of big names. We know Kevin Spacey was in it. And it was actually really good. Infinite Warfare is way undeservedly hated on. That game is great. Like, seriously, that single player is fantastic. It is fantastic.
Nah, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy
Infinite Warfare story is great, but the multiplayer
I didn't enjoy it.
is like the epitome of like a bland futuristic shooter, and that's why it was hated on.
Dan, you can go.
Nah,
something after you. Yeah.
I didn't enjoy Infinite Warfare all that much, to be perfectly honest. I didn't think the story didn't grip me at all, as well as other people were saying.
Yeah.
And I thought everybody, like, because of all the press about the fact that Kit Harington's playing the main villain. He was barely used in it, and I compare him most to Kevin Spacey, because it was very similar to what they did with him with Advanced Warfare. He was used in a lot of the marketing, as was Kit Harington with Infinite Warfare's campaign. But Kit Harington's character he just didn't stick with me at all, and just
he was underdeveloped. He was very underdeveloped.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and what the hell was that death sequence with him? Like that death sequence when you killed him. At first, I didn't even realize he was dead, but then I was like, oh,
that's it.
Did he die? And it's like,
there was no emotional impact. Yeah.
I feel like,
and then the
Infinite Warfare was great.
Yeah.
And
then the ending itself for me was just. The ending itself, it tries to go for this emotional edge with the fact, everybody dies, and you play like these tape recordings of your teammates. It tries to go for the emotional edge, but the problem was the story never built that up well enough for me in the first place to warrant that kind of ending. I didn't enjoy the campaign.
Infinite Warfare started off so strong for me. Like, I love the Earth missions, or like when you're on like regular planets with regular gravity. Like, those missions are really, really good. It's when you go into your spaceship and then you start flying to different planets, doing a mission and coming back to your headquarters. It felt so weird. Like, you're just at the end of the day, you're just going back to your headquarters. And like, the games that are the best is like when you're like going through like a journey. Like, I like the Call of Duty where you're going to different settings, with your like squad mates. And like, I feel like in this one, you just do a mission and then you come back to your spaceship and then you're like, okay, which planet do you want to hit now? It's just kind of like,
No, but I think
it started off so strong. But.
I think COD's undeservedly hated on in the fact that there's so many games and it's just become the norm to hate on it. Kind of the same way Ubisoft hated on. But I mean, Infinite Warfare is a great game. If you take away the name Call of Duty, because obviously no one wants a space futuristic Call of Duty, take away that name and just call it, I don't know, whatever, Future Shooter 2077. It still holds up as a great game. It's undeservedly hated on, and I think it's sold poorly based on the name alone and the setting. If that game was like a World War I setting in a like COD game, would have sold great. If it didn't have the COD name, it would have sold great as an individual game. Like, honestly, it is a really good game. Just in terms of multiplayer, I don't like the futuristic implementations of like jetpacking around and like this really, really high octane, like just dead quick, fast-paced multiplayer. COD's known for that, but this is like a level above, and we've just seen it go quicker and quicker and quicker ever since Advanced Warfare, and it hasn't helped the gameplay at all. Like, there's a reason everyone loves Modern Warfare, because it's just slow. It's got at least a little bit of a tactical element to it, even though it is fast-paced. And it was just really fun, whereas the futuristic setting is just like, it's really bland because we've seen so many. It's like if COD was to go open world, no one would care in the slightest. It would never do that because it's not that type of game. I'm just saying because there's so many open world games. And there's so many futuristic games, it's kind of just drowned out within the market, you know what I mean? But overall, it's just a great game, great franchise. And if they nail this World War II setting like they did with the first few CODs, I don't know if you've played the original Call of Duty games, but they're great games. If they nail it like the way Battlefield did, I think it'll sell really well and just be a great game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everybody was hyped for Battlefield 1 more than Call of Duty, but like when the sales came out, like Call of Duty still sold better than Battlefield 1. It's like ridiculous. Like that video got like the most dislikes ever, yet people still buy the game even if they don't like the game.
Did it sell better? I don't think it sold better than Battlefield 1. I just think
I'm pretty sure it did. I'm pretty sure it did.
People said.
I thought that it did sell better than Battlefield 1. Like, I'm pretty sure it did.
Because I remember hearing about, especially on PC,
Modern Warfare, but like, yeah.
I think the PC market dropped from like Black Ops 3 sold about 400,000 on PC, and Infinite Warfare was what, 18,000. So that dropped drastically there.
I'll have to confirm on the sales. If anyone wants to look it up, you can. But I thought it did sell better. But man, I just really hope that. I mean, is anybody here in a disagreement that rumor is false, or is everybody agreeing that like leak was real?
Which?
I want it to be real.
No, I want
it to be real.
Yeah. I think it is real. It looks really professional. And I'm pretty sure the same person that leaked what's called one of the previous games before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looks intriguing. I mean, we're probably gonna get a trailer here in like a month or so, because they usually announce them like in early May, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see, and then they'll be at Sony's conference, which I won't mind this time because it's like not I remember they showed off what's called Infinite Warfare last year, like after the VR stuff, and I thought it was a VR game. I was like, what the heck? This looks cool. Like it looked cool for a VR game, and then I saw this Call of Duty. I was like, oh, it's cool. Yeah.
They actually did have the Jackal Assault mission for VR, the space battle, which was...
That's really good. I actually like that quite a bit. Although the textures look really horrible.
No, the resolution in VR is horrendous. It's really bad.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, Advanced Warfare is like still one of my favorite Call of Duties of all time, for at least futuristic in the campaign. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's cool. All right. So next up we have Mass Effect Andromeda. Well, we already talked a bit about it last week, of course, but the game officially released. I think it was Tuesday. So basically all the reviews came in, and currently I believe it's sitting at a current Metacritic score of 78 out of 100, which I mean, it's not necessarily a bad score, but when compared to the other games, you would see it as a big disappointment because all the other Mass Effect games have at least a 91, I believe.
Yeah, Mass Effect 1's got a 91 on Metacritic, Mass Effect 2 is a 96, and Mass Effect 3 is a 94, so in comparison, it's really dire.
Yeah, it looks like a 4 compared to like the other games, but like, and granted, it's still a good game, but like compared to like the masterpieces, it's like the same things like saying Uncharted, like the Uncharted series that's like really praised. Like imagine if like the fourth one came out and it was like a 70 or something, like that would look like a bad game, but it's still good, but like, yeah, it's just unfortunate, I guess, because it was like one of the games that shocked everybody that it was actually coming this soon in March. So everybody was like hyped about it, and then now it disappointed a little bit. But I mean, I want to play the game for myself eventually, so I'm not going to judge it too much. But from what
I cancelled my pre-order on it. I think I'll be picking it up in the next like couple of weeks or something. Like the month of April's really packed with obviously Outlast 2 and Farpoint. So I'll probably pick it up eventually. But
Farpoint comes out in May.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I thought it was April. Yeah, it's probably one of those games I'll eventually get. But I can't judge it, haven't played it yet, but from what I've seen on like glitch videos or like graphical comparisons and stuff, it's just kind of, it just looks like a disappointment. In terms of story, I've heard it's actually pretty decent. It's just the narrative and the writing in the game is just really piss poor.
Yeah.
So, it's a shame.
Yeah. Well, I heard it opens up really slowly, so it takes a lot of time to develop before it gets actually good.
It looked fun. I wonder how the multiplayer is and everything like that. But
I've heard the multiplayer is good for it, from what I've heard from the reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not excited for it at all. I'm not going to get it. Big fan of the previous games. The only real game, the 3 games I liked was probably Mass Effect 2, but that was just because it was a great game.
I love the original.
I've never been a big fan of them, mainly because I'm not the biggest lover of RPGs, other than The Witcher.
But good taste.
Yeah, I know. But with Andromeda, it never really got me.
Yeah.
After seeing the reviews, I think it's just further made me want to not buy it at all. To be honest, I mean, I'm just not that excited for it. So no, I'm not.
Well, no, I mean, what's the Metacritic at the minute? It's like what was it? Last time I checked, it was a 78. Is it still a 78?
I think it's still 78. I think.
Still 78.
I don't feel the inclination to want to go and buy it. It's not there like I have with other games, or if it's like a game that I haven't tried before in a series. I just haven't got that inclination to be like, oh yeah, I want to go out and buy it. I'm not getting that feeling because mainly what the biggest problem is, nobody's really talking about it. No one's really making a big fuss about this game, and that's why.
Not in a positive way, anyway.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
one person I know that's praising it.
Writing in any story-focused game is like something that really speaks to me. I love a good narrative in a game, especially an RPG, open-world RPG. And Mass Effect, the original trilogy, especially 2 and 3, had some fantastic narratives. But from everything I've seen of the writing of Andromeda, it just doesn't look that good. But everyone's got to stop hating on the game because 78, if you were to round that, it's an 8 out of 10. Is an 8 out of 10 bad? No, it's a great game. It's just in comparison to the 3 masterpieces Bioshock 1 was a bit Mass Effect 1 was a bit boring. But if you compare that to the original games, it's not as good. But if you were to stand it alongside, I don't know, Mario 3D World got an 80 out of 100. Now that is a great game. If you compare it to that, it's not that big of a difference in score, so it can't be that bad of a game. We all know the animations and the writing is just bad, but the rest of the game is probably great.
I mean, looking at scores aside, because I don't really like giving scores. I mean, I like giving scores, but like if you actually give detail on why you give that score. But like, I don't know, like I'm gonna definitely get the game because it definitely interests me, and I'm not gonna like let reviewers, pursue me away.
No, never
the
should.
gameplay looks good, so it's definitely gonna be a game. Whether I get it now or I get it in the summer, it's probably gonna be leaning more towards like May or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I still have games to play, but it definitely looks still intriguing, and the multiplayer looks cool. But yeah, I mean, I just want to play it myself. I can get past the animations and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, open world RPGs don't generally have good animations. The Witch is probably like a standout for having one of the best. Just saying, Horizon.
The Witcher.
Horizon actually has some good animations for an open world game. But I mean, Mass Effect just doesn't look good in terms of that. But if you look at the world itself, it looks great.
I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think that Mass Effect might have not have been as good as the previous games because they're working on their new IP, or?
It depends on how much of the team was working on that, because I don't think we know the specific amount, do we?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming out in a year, so I mean, they've definitely created like a big portion of the game at least now.
We'll have to see how ambitious the game is, because if it's not like that ambitious, then
I heard it's gonna be like a Destiny like IP, right? Like a Destiny
like an MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sounds ambitious, but
Destiny 2 is good, and BioWare's new IP is good. Damn.
Well, what I heard was Andromeda was made by a completely new team. Well, not a completely new team, but a majoritively new team compared to the original BioWare. And the original BioWare are working on this new IP. So, I mean, if it's a gang of newbies who made Andromeda, fair play for a first attempt. It doesn't look like that bad of a game. Just the animations are shit and so with the voice acting. But I'll be getting in the next few weeks and probably give me thoughts on it.
Yeah, I know me and Blue have been talking a lot, so Dan or Justin wants to come in.
Yeah, go
on. Okay, well, for me at least, I mean, Mass Effect, I don't know. I mean, like I said last week, I had Mass Effect 1 and 2 on Steam. Never really got around to completing it or anything like that. But it's one of those games, once again, that I am interested in, of course, because prior to release, of course, many people were talking about it, of course. It was many people's, in their top 10 most anticipated games, of course. It was for me, I think I put it in my top 10 as well, because even though I didn't complete any of the other games, it still looked cool to me. I like the whole universe and the concept looked cool. I don't know. I mean, I do think I'll still definitely I'll try it out at least sometime in the future, just not right now because I still have lots of other stuff to complete. But yeah, I'm interested in playing it sometime in the future.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So Dan, if you have anything you want to say about it.
Probably not going to get the game.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they haven't really given you a reason why. I mean, the reviews are. I don't know.
I think it's just more or less the fact that I just in general don't enjoy RPGs. I just don't think they're a genre that I personally get that much enjoyment out of, because most of the time when I play them, I don't know what it is about them, but I just don't get engaged with the games at all, to be perfectly honest. It's just not my kind of genre. I'm not saying that they're bad games. They're certainly not. I mean, the original Mass Effect are great games. I just personally can't get into them. And because of the fact that I just couldn't get into the previous 3 games, and from what I'd seen of it, it just didn't really pique my interest at all. And that's the reason why I'm not getting it. I'm not basing it off the reviews, because, I mean, critics can be wrong all the time, with stuff. I mean, critics isn't law. You're all entitled to your own opinion on something, but for me, just from what I saw of launch, I just wasn't looking forward to it at all, to be honest, and that's why. I mean, I might try it out one day, because I know a few of my friends are getting it, so maybe if I go around theirs, well, I'll not buy it, sorry, but they'll go ahead and play it and then see what I think of it, but at the moment, probably not going to get it.
And for the longest time, people were complaining they didn't see much of it, and then when they announced it was coming this soon in March, everybody was like, wow, so maybe it's going to be a case it's a really good game, they just haven't really shown much. Sucks that it was the former, but yeah. Just it sucks. I mean, a lot of games were 2017 was looking to be the year where a lot of games were at least great. Games were at least getting 80s and stuff. It just sucks that Mass Effect was the one to slip up. I mean, if it's bad. I mean, I haven't tried it up. Yeah, it hasn't slipped up by that much. But I mean, compared to the original games. But then again, I haven't played the game myself, so I don't want to judge it this is actual fact, because these are critics. They're just glorified opinions, in my opinion, if that makes sense. But yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So, okay, I guess we can move on. let's quickly talk a bit about Uncharted: The Lost Legacy screenshots because, of course, this month is Game Informer's month of Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. So basically, the whole month they've been getting lots of new information at Naughty Dog with interviews and all kinds of stuff like that with the developers, of course. So we've gotten some new screenshots of Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. We've gotten to see some new environments and stuff like that. Also, some screenshots of the villain, I believe. So if you guys want to quickly say anything about that, for me at least, I know that, like they said, it has like they've taken a lot of influence from like Uncharted 1 and 2 with the settings at least, which I find really cool because the thing I liked about Uncharted 1 and 2 so much was that the locations were really like stand out that you wouldn't really see too much, whereas in Uncharted 3 and 4 they went to more like generic locations.
Yeah. I mean, they said it's going to be taking inspiration from Uncharted 1 and 2 in the tombs. It definitely looks really good. I mean, the screenshots we've gotten, like, of Chloe and everything, they look really good. I just really can't wait to see, like, more of this game. I mean, I really want to see more of this game, but I also just want to play it myself. So, yeah, I just hope development process is going fine and the game's going to be good. Or the expansion.
I'm guessing we're going to see probably, like, maybe... Do you think we'll see something at E3? Like,
of course,
maybe, like, a short...
Of course.
I mean, like, I feel like, would it really be worth it to show a gameplay? I feel like, the gameplay game is not necessarily going to be that long, right? So I feel like showing a whole gameplay demo would be, like...
It's still going to be a sizable thing, because it said it's going to be, like, a separate kind of game, because it's going to... If it's at least 5-6 hours, like, longer than a DLC and shorter than Uncharted 4, they're definitely going to be, like, if this is at least, like, half the length of Uncharted 4, this is definitely going to be something that Sony wants at their conference to at least mention and give it for.
I was just wondering like what they could show, like maybe like a short trailer or something, maybe like a 1 minute trailer.
I mean, what PSX show, how they were just showing like a conversation between Sam and Drake, and they just showed like a date or something like that. I mean, they're gonna be wanting to show like this is definitely gonna be like one of their biggest games, like if you want to even call it a game for like the later half of the year.
Well, no, it's definitely being marketed as if it's a sole standalone game. They are like marketing it that way. I think it'll be a biggest. No one's called it a DLC, which I think's key. The fact that they are calling it Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, the game. They're not calling it the DLC, or the expansion or whatever. So I think it'll be a pretty sizable. I think it might even be close to Uncharted 1's length in terms of gameplay time. I mean, the marketing in it that way. We've seen a full-fledged gameplay, or not a full-fledged gameplay, but like quite a big chunk of gameplay at PSX last year. So I don't think they'll go out the way to like, here's another like 10-minute gameplay, because it is going to be sizable, but it won't be like a 15-hour game, so don't want to show off too much. I think what we'll get is a cinematic trailer, whether it's like the introduction of the main villain, whether it's the introduction of a separate character, maybe Cutter or someone, or a brand new protagonist. We don't know, but it's being marketed as a full game. I think they're going to show us that. Probably see like a 2 to 3 minute, not so much gameplay, more like a cinematic trailer. And then just more
the main thing they're going to be wanting to give to the people is this is what we this is what we have later this year, this is the date, and then go on from there. Just like real quick, that's what they want to get across, because it's definitely going to be a big part of their lineup along the first third parties and stuff.
It's being marketed as a big game for the end of the year. It's not being marketed as like a pushover, and it'll be cheaper. Let's not forget that. So there's going to be a lot of people who want to pay for it.
Not much really to talk about in terms of what was shown. I mean, just little stuff. Looks cool.
Yeah. All right. So next up, let's quickly talk about. Brendan, you actually sent me the NeoGAF post earlier before we started recording.
Yeah.
So if you want to quickly talk about that Emma Stone.
So
we're not gonna show it here. We'll leave a link down below or something.
Yeah.
To the NeoGAF.
I mean, I don't think it is real. Just putting it up here, but it definitely looks really cool. I mean, I'll just explain what happened. Is pretty much someone posted this on 4chan and got like reposted on NeoGAF and Reddit. And, it's pretty much going off of what we said last week about Emma Stone possibly being in Death Stranding. And it's supposedly a leaked, image from an E3 presentation that they're going to be doing. I mean, granted, they're probably preparing to show off what they're going to be doing for E3. But, I mean, just some red flags that come across is it's a standard thing where it's like a cross, photo. Where it looks like someone's in like in a pitch black room and they're like taking a photo of it. And it's like not really much there. And another big thing is it has the same markings on her eye as like the guy from, the main trailer from the Game Awards. I mean, if someone wanted to reference, they would just, paste that little texture, that little graphic onto her eye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth talking about, but I don't think it's probably real.
Yeah, I mean, the image looked pretty cool because, like, although it was, like, really low quality, what we did see, like, just her with that, you know, that facial thing, whatever. I don't even know what it's called, but whatever.
Yeah.
And she was also wearing, like, one of those soldier uniforms.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know if it's real or not, but, like, it would be cool if it was.
Yeah, it definitely would be.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not too much to talk about.
I mean, I think it's fake. It's interesting. I mean, it's causing speculation. I mean, it'd be cool if it was real, but I doubt it got leaked this early because, you know, the person that would have to do is, like, someone that works there, and I doubt they would leak it, like, 2 months and a half, like 2 months before E3 when there's not really much buzz going on at all.
Yeah, I mean, E3 is still quite a while away. It's, like, literally almost 3 full months left.
Yeah, about 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fake as well. I mean, it just seems too early for stuff like this to be getting out about it. And I mean, I assume that Kojima would be very, you know, secretive about this. I mean, because I just don't think that it'd be the kind of game to, or just Kojima Productions, because because I'm trying to think in the past, have like Kojima Productions, have they ever had like stuff leak out early?
I don't know why someone would want to do that. Kojima, he seems like, you know, really likable, and everybody that's working from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like something where they're just working on like a big company like EA or something that would leak something, but yeah.
No, he has a tendency to keep everything he's doing under wraps, and I think Death Stranding's quite a way off. I think it's like a 2019 game, so I doubt this leaks like... I don't know. I just don't think we're going to see anything in the game this E3. I don't think we're going to see anything at the end of the year. I think it's probably going to be next year. We're going to start...
Anything?
We're definitely going to see something
whole year.
E3.
No, I don't think we will. I think the games are way off. I don't think it's coming out. No, I don't think it's coming out this year. Obviously, next year, not coming out then. I think it's coming out 2019, probably the mid or end of 2019. So I don't think we're going to see. Just because I think it's one of those games that's like it's been announced at PSX yet, but I just don't think it's like, I think it's far too early in development to start showing like something at every big game event. I think if we do see anything, it'll be 2018 at the earliest. I don't think we're going to see anything for the rest of the year. We might get a few leaks here and there, or a few like minor tidbits of news, but I just don't think we're going to get any big showings again until 2018.
I mean, he seems like he's like just trying to give updates every 6 months, so I think it's definitely possible. I mean, he's kind of working on his own. He's not tied to like some kind of bigger company. He's more like, you know, trying to get to his fans. So... I would think they would show something off this. I don't think it's going to be sizable. I don't want it to be sizable, but it's possible. Yeah. I mean, it's possible he could skip, definitely, but yeah.
I mean, I would have always thought that they would just release something small every 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he seems to be doing. Like, he announced that, I mentioned this last podcast, how he announced the game in December. 6 months later, we got the Norman Reedus trailer. 6 months later, we got the, trailer with the sewers and the baby and the guy holding,
I don't know. It's possible. I guess we'll just have to wait and see until E3. But like, I think the game will probably come out. I mean, I think the game would come out like spring 2019.
Yeah.
Around. Or summer 2019, around there.
Yeah. It's gonna be good once it comes out. I mean, especially if it comes out the same year as The Last of Us Part 2. It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, that would be really good. But I think Last of Us is coming out late 2018. So.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they said early. They
I don't know. I guess it's the same thing as.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They could. Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, that's cool. All right. So we have one more topic here. It looks like it's going to be a shorter podcast than last time, but that's fine. We have one more topic to talk about, and this is kind of like our personal topic that we came up with. So basically, we might try and do this every week where we'll have like a personal. Basically a personal segment to talk about at the end of every podcast. So in this podcast, the personal topic we decided to come up with was basically the turning point in our gaming lives. So if you guys want to give I don't know, it's kind of personal. It basically just gives our viewers more insights on our gaming lives, I guess. So I can go first if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
All right, so for me, I have to say, I mean, I've been playing games for quite a while, but like, I started off gaming as a kid on my like Nintendo DS and Nintendo Wii, of course. I played some like other games on the PC, of course, but like nothing too crazy or anything like that. I remember I played Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the days a lot. On the DS, I played Mario Kart, tons of these other games, Mario Kart, Super Mario Bros, stuff like that. On the Wii U, I mean, not the Wii U, just the regular Wii. Yeah, just other games like that on the Wii. basically the Nintendo exclusives, like stuff like that, like Sonic and Mario and other stuff like that. So basically I don't know, like the turning point in my gaming life would probably be when I got my PS3, because I got my PS3 pretty late, to be honest. I got it in 2012, which is literally the year before the PS4 came out. So yeah, I got my PS3 in 2012. The funny thing is, to be honest, I didn't even want my PS3. Like I didn't ask for it or anything like that. It just sort of came to me. I remember my dad was actually looking for a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, I see.
He decided to get a PS3, and I'm like, all right, sure, that's cool. Why not? And the thing, my PS3 came with the Uncharted collection, I remember, which is awesome, and I'm super happy that kind of ended up to be like that, because without that, I could have been completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the turning point in my gaming life would probably be when I ended up playing Uncharted 2, because I played Uncharted 1, and yeah, that was definitely a great game. I've said it before, I thought Uncharted 1 was a great start to the franchise, of course. And then after that, I moved on to Uncharted 2, and I thought it would be so like around the same, something like that. Another adventure once again with Nathan Drake, but of course, we know that Uncharted 2 was so much more than that. It became most people would say it's the best game in the franchise.
Facts.
Blue thinks 4 is better.
Four.
But you think 4 too?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I think 4 is definitely still really good. I just prefer 2 more.
4 has a much better narrative than any game in the Uncharted series by a god.
I will agree with that.
Okay.
In terms of story, Uncharted 4, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3.
Blue, I'm gonna hit you with the video this week. Next week, I'm gonna freaking go into objectively.
Yeah.
Oh, rivalry.
All right. Objective.
Yeah, well, I don't base Uncharted 2 versus Uncharted 4 based on nostalgia, not one bit. Like, I clearly see that Uncharted 4 is a better story. I mean, I want Justin to finish off his story, but just real saying, like, I see a lot of things that 2 did better. But yeah, Justin, you can continue.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I was pretty much at the end anyways. But yeah, once again, Uncharted 2 basically, it's kind of corny to say, but I don't know. It just kind of like opened my eyes to realize what gaming was possible or capable of doing, I guess. You get what I mean?
Since I have a similar story, I'll probably go next. And pretty much, I played like the GameCube and the PS2 a little bit as a kid.
GameCube is amazing. It's an amazing console.
I played some small games. I mainly played Wind Waker. And then on PS2, I played a lot of Crash, Mind Over Mutant, those kind of games. Those were really fun. Yeah. And when I went on to my dad bought a PS3 for himself, like as his own Father's Day gift, like in the summer. Like this was summer 2017. I think like a year. I forgot when the PS3 came out. Like late. When did PS3 come out? Like 2006, right? Like
2006.
Yeah. And then this was like almost a year later. In summer of 2007. And I remember getting Heavenly Sword at the time, but like that wasn't really the game that started all. I mean, it was a big jump in gaming, so it was definitely definitely more interested. But like, I remember I wasn't part of the internet. I wasn't part of like all that forums and all that stuff. Obviously, at being 7 at the time.
You went into the gaming industry, you just played online games. Yeah.
I remember seeing the PlayStation Store and seeing a game called like Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and we watched the trailer, and like the very end, where it was supposed to be like an epic moment, was just Nate jumping between like 2 rocks that were like not even that far apart from each other, but it's like a leap over a river or something like that. I was like, whoa, that looks impressive. And that's where I'm coming from when I say Uncharted 3 kind of goes over the top, flying out of a plane now, like Jesus. But like I remember seeing something like simple like that. And then we ended up getting the game. That game was so good. Like just the way the storytelling was in that game with Nate and Elena and Sully. And then later, like the set pieces that were pretty small and just grounded in like the tombs and exploration, and just the whole vibe of the game was awesome. Now, I'd say that's like the game that kind of shifted my gaming industry, but it's partially Uncharted 2 as well. Because, I wasn't into the gaming industry after Uncharted 1 either, because I was 7. But when I was like around like 9, well, I think I was 8 at the time. Like my dad brought back like Game Informer, and like Uncharted 2 Among Thieves was on the cover of Nate hanging off a train. I was like, what the heck? And I was like reading all like the panels and just seeing like, I think they should have like screenshots of like Nate like around the same time like Camera Jeff died, like around that like raining area or something like that. That's what I remember. Or at least like the Nepal area. And I was like, dang, this game looks really good. And when it came out, like I played the multiplayer. Like I played that multiplayer for like so many hours, and Like, just that was like the game of my childhood. Like, that's the one game I'd list as like the game of my childhood, was playing Uncharted 2 Among Thieves multiplayer, and just playing the campaign as well. And just so many memories, even like on my old channel where I still have videos of me playing it. And like that game got me into the multiplayer, which got me into YouTube, which got me into so many, like watching so many creators of like making Uncharted 2 videos. That's what got me into watching Robin. That's what got me into watching Zach, Archer Vnox, That's Cool. Those people don't do YouTube anymore, but they did back in the day of Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3. And like, man, that was like awesome community back in the day when there was like a living community full of Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3. And they actually had a good multiplayer before Uncharted 4, in my opinion. But man, I'd say those two games. I mean, Uncharted, which got me into like more of like, these games can be actually something serious and something that you're really passionate about and like you really want to know more about these characters. But Uncharted 2, that got me into the whole YouTube side of things, and it got me into the, more greater thing where other people were doing it as well. And I found it. It was kind of like that time where, YouTube was kind of like exploding back then. I mean, I didn't really know about it until like I was 9 or so, but it was back then. It was cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'll go next. I think for me, mine was a lot earlier than that. Mine was what really opened my eyes to, like, not so much the gaming industry. I'll get onto that in a bit, but what opened my eyes to the possibility of games was when I was actually 5. It was ridiculous. My first ever console was the PS1. First ever game was the original Spyro the Dragon. I was always a Spyro kid growing up. I loved the Crash Bandicoot games. Love them games. Really good platformers. Some of the best of all time. Crash 2 is a complete highlight for me at the PS1. But Spyro was really like... Crash didn't really focus on story and characters. It was more focused on fun, really fun gameplay and good level design. And just like that addictive willingness to come back to the game now and then. Spyro was really about this cast of characters that developed over a series, the original trilogy. The third game in particular stood out for me as like, wow, this is great. Like, I don't think it was the best entry, but I think in terms of story, it really was. So yeah, I polished up the majority of the PS1's gaming library, played a ton of games on that
Being
system.
5 years old.
Yeah. Just me, like, single player games when I was from the age of like 5 to about 8 in like 3-year course. I played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games. There was obviously like Spyro, Crash, Final Fantasy, Wild Arms, like some Yu-Gi-Oh games, Forbidden Memories, a few Mega Man games, just so many great games. And then when I was about 8, my uncle had a PS2, and like, I mean, a box full of about, I'm going to say 200 to 300 PS2 games of all genres, all like quality. So yeah, we bought that off him. I got to play it. First game on the PS2 was, of course, Spyro. They had the original trilogy as a mainstream game, and then they had a trilogy of its own on the PS2 called The Legends of Spyro, which was really heavy, focused on narrative and storytelling. And that was where I started to be like, okay, I am invested in this world from the PS1. I'm invested in these characters. And the Spyro Dawn of the Dragon, which is the final game in the mainstream Spyro games, that was one of the best video game endings I've ever seen. One of the most satisfactory conclusions to any game I have ever played. And yeah, played a ton of games on the PS2. Not going to go into everything, but there was tons and tons and tons of games on the PS2. Simpsons Hit and Run, of course. Jurassic Park, Operation Genesis.
I love that game.
Turok. What else was there? There was a fucking shit ton. The older Harry Potter games are actually really good. Star Wars Battlefronts, of course. The old Star Wars games. Just tons and tons of games. And then we got the original Xbox. Now, there was a Spyro game on that called Spyro A Hero's Tale. Not as good as the mainstream, but still good. There was a lot of older good games, like the original Halo, the second Halo. Turok again. Simpsons Hit and Run again. Love that game.
Wait,
the Xbox... Go on.
What's your turning point? Are you going for the whole history, or...?
No. I'll get to the turning point soon.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically cleaned up Xbox, cleaned up PS2, and then the turning point was in about 2011 when I got my PS3. And I remember I wasn't into like gaming, like the industry, the ins and outs of like GameSpot, IGN, staying up to date with all the new releases and shit. I remember the first game, I just said to my mum, right, I would love a PS3, just get whatever the fuck games you want to get for it. I have no clue, just get me something. And the 4 games she came back with were Gran Turismo 5, Little Big Planet 2.
Great game.
Yeah, FIFA 13, because I always wanted to play FIFA with mates. That was just from school. It was kind of the most talked about game because UK is full of casuals. And then Uncharted 3. And Uncharted 3 was my first Uncharted game. I didn't play it 1, 2, 3. I played it 3, 1, 2. And that game just stood out for me as like, right, this is the first game, like obviously the PS3, the whole generation was really centered around the development of cinematic storytelling. Like we hadn't really seen cinematic implementations in the previous generations of gaming, and Uncharted 3 really opened my eyes. It might not have been the best game in hindsight compared to when I played Uncharted 2 and obviously Uncharted 4, but it really opened my eyes to like, okay, this is astounding. The set pieces are amazing. Pacing's not that good, but it's where I started to actually critique games, like look at them objectively, subjectively, rate them on story, narrative, characters, things like that. And then from there, it's just spiraled into this love of trying to stay up to date with all the latest releases, all the new consoles and shit like that. So yeah, I owe a lot to Uncharted 3. That's where if it weren't for that game and that series, I probably wouldn't be a YouTuber. Probably would have dropped out of gaming like as passionately as I am now. Probably about 2 years ago. So yeah, I fucking love that game.
Fair enough.
Little life story for you.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Little Big Planet 2 is a great game.
Yeah.
Nah, it's okay.
Well, for me, in terms of my, I'd probably say the biggest moment for me that, you know, made me love games was probably when I got my PS2. Probably that was around about, I think, 2005.
Yeah.
Because I was, same as you guys, I was really late into it. I didn't get my PS2 until 2005. Didn't get my PS3 until 2010. But my PS2 was where I really started to get into it. And it wasn't necessarily as soon as I got it. It was more around, like, I think it was about 2008 when I really got into it. Because I think that was when I managed to somehow, and I still to this day can't remember how, I managed to get a copy of Metal Gear Solid 3, which I was way too young at the time to really be playing because I had no clue what was going on. This game that I played where I was truly like hooked with the gameplay at the time. Obviously nowadays it's pretty outdated, you know, with the fundamentals of it, but that was the first game that really hooked me from a story standpoint, even though I didn't fully understand what was going on. And the ending to that game was just so good. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite endings of a video game. And then obviously, I mean, Hit and Run. I can't even remember the amount of hours I wasted on that game just doing random stuff. That was just...
Yeah.
Still want either A, a sequel, or B, a complete remake of that game. It needs to happen.
Who made that game?
It was... Oh, shit. I think it was Insomniac.
Really?
Damn,
Or
really?
Sierra. Or it might have been Sierra. I think it was
I don't think it
Sierra.
was
That game. I remember playing that as a kid. That was really
No, I think it was Sierra. Yeah, they were responsible for the Legends of Spyro. Yeah, it was Sierra.
Oh, it was just the best thing they could have done for a Simpsons game. It was just so great. And, yeah, I mean, just the PS2. I played so many great games on there, yet somehow never touched Spyro or Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank. They were like the only three things I can remember that I didn't play. I just never found myself getting into them. But that was probably because back then I wasn't the biggest fan of platformers. I only really started to 3, and then by then I was like, if I buy all these, you know, child-looking friendly games, I'm probably going to get roasted the moment my friends at school find out.
Yeah.
I mean, then nowadays you can be playing GTA 5 like Jaden, he'll still get roasted, but yeah.
Fuck Fuck that game.
But that's because it's Jaden. Jaden was born to be roasted.
Fucking harsh.
I know, but it's true.
No, Metal Gear holds up today, and I think Simpsons Hit and Run, I prefer just a remaster of the game because the writing of the Simpsons cartoon has deteriorated like 10 times over. It's so shit now.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. After season 10.
Because let's not forget, Simpsons Hit and Run was released like, what was it, 2000, I'm going to say 5, around then, 2004, 5, somewhere around then. And that was released when Simpsons was in its peak. So that wasn't when Simpsons was dying. If they were to release a new game now with the writing of the new series, oh my god, that would be so much worse than the original. I just prefer a remake. But they're never ever gonna do it, ever.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's pretty cool. So yeah, those were basically the 7 topics that we got for this episode of Gaming at its Core. So yeah, of course, I believe next week we're not going to be doing an episode of Gaming at its Core because quite a few of us are busy with other stuff like that. So we won't be doing an episode of Gaming at its Core next week. We'll probably be back the week after that. So if you want to go check out the episode on SoundCloud, you can do that. We'll leave a link to our SoundCloud page down below in the description below. If there's anything else you guys would like to say before we end it
if
off
they
here?
have any viewer requested topics, we could do that. That's something we can implement as well. And yeah, any feedback's great. I mean, we're going to be having guests soon here. I mean, we're thinking of some guests, but probably not for a couple weeks now as we try to find out, like, technical stuff with the podcast and just get everything right. But yeah.
Yeah. We just need to set up a few more things, and then once we're ready to go, we'll probably add a few people in
Mm-hmm.
and see how that goes and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course, once again, let us know everything down below in the comments below, and go check out the SoundCloud link if you want to watch it on the go, of course. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time on Gaming at its Core.
See ya.
So, yeah.